The signal. Deep in the void where Earth once existed, the research vessel Asteria drifted through a field of crystalline debris. Director Zara Van stood at the observation deck, her scaled hands clasped behind her back, as she watched her team's excavation drones weave through the glittering fragments of humanity's homeworld. After 3 centuries of studying the remains, the Galactic Science Council still couldn't explain how an entire planet had transformed into this crystalline graveyard. Director, we're detecting unusual energy patterns, announced Chief Scientist Krell, his bioluminescent patches pulsing with excitement. They appear to be emanating from the largest crystal formation in Sector 7. Zara's inner eyelids flickered with interest. The Asteria had mapped this region countless times, yet somehow they'd missed this. Show me. The holographic display materialized before them, revealing a massive crystalline structure that seemed to pulse with an inner light. Unlike the other fragments, this one exhibited a distinct geometric pattern, almost architectural in nature. It's artificial, Krell confirmed, manipulating the display with his tentacles. And there's more. The energy signature. It's quantum-based, but unlike anything in our databases. Zara felt her scales bristle. The humans had been studying quantum mechanics when they vanished, but their understanding had been primitive compared to current galactic standards, or so everyone had believed. Prepare a containment field, she ordered. I want that structure brought aboard for analysis. Hours later, the crystal structure sat in the ship's main laboratory, its surface reflecting the soft blue light of the containment field. A team of the galaxy's finest synorchaeologists worked tirelessly to understand its secrets. Director. One of the junior scientists called out, her feathers ruffled with agitation. We're detecting a signal originating from within the crystal. It's trying to interface with our systems. Before Zara could respond, every screen in the laboratory flickered to life. Streams of data in an ancient human language cascaded across the displays, rapidly translating themselves into modern galactic standard. A voice emerged from the ship's communication systems, not synthetic, but not quite organic either. It carried the weight of eons, yet possessed an unsettling vitality. "You've found us at last," it said. "We've waited so long for someone to look closely enough." Zara stepped forward, her professional curiosity warring with primal caution. "Identify yourself." "We were humanity," the voice replied. "Though we've become something else entirely. What you see around you isn't Earth's destruction. It's our metamorphosis." The crystals pulsing intensified, and holographic images filled the laboratory. They showed Earth's final days, but not as a tragedy. The images revealed a carefully orchestrated transformation as billions of humans willingly submitted themselves to an unprecedented evolutionary leap. The crystallization of Earth wasn't an end, the voice continued. It was a cocoon. We encoded ourselves into quantum crystalline matrices, transcending physical form. But we had reasons beyond mere evolution. The holographic display shifted, showing something that made Zora's blood run cold. At the edge of the galaxy, something vast and ancient stirred. A darkness that consumed light itself, that devoured consciousness and reality. "We detected them 3 centuries ago," the voice explained. "An entity so ancient it predates your oldest civilizations. We knew we couldn't fight them as we were. So we changed. We became the Watchers, the Guardians, waiting in these crystalline forms across the galaxy." Zara watched as more images appeared, showing similar crystalline structures hidden throughout known space, all pulsing with the same quantum signature. "How many are there?" "Billions. Earth wasn't destroyed. It was dispersed. Every crystal contains thousands of transformed human consciousness, waiting to be awakened. And now, Director Venn, it's time. They're coming." The laboratory's instruments began registering massive energy spikes from the crystal. Similar readings appeared from all across the galaxy, a network of humanity's transformed essence awakening from its long slumber. "The question isn't whether you'll help us," the voice said, its tone carrying both warmth and steel. "The The question is whether your civilization is ready to evolve alongside us. The darkness comes for all consciousness, all reality. We've spent centuries preparing for this moment, but we can't face it alone. Zara looked at her terrified crew, then back at the crystal that held what remained of humanity. In that moment, she realized that every theory about humanity's fate had been wrong. They hadn't destroyed themselves, or fled or hidden. They had become something more, waiting for this very moment. "What do you need from us?" she asked, knowing that her response would change the course of galactic history. The crystal's pulsing synchronized with the ship's systems, and the voice spoke one final time before the real work would begin. "We need you to help us wake up the rest of humanity. The war for reality itself is about to begin." The awakening. News of the discovery spread through the galactic community like a quantum shockwave. Within days, research vessels from every major civilization converged on crystal fields that had suddenly appeared throughout known space. Each contained the same transformed human consciousness. Each waited to be awakened. On the Asteria, Director Zora Venn coordinated with the Galactic Council as her team worked to understand the scope of humanity's metamorphosis. The crystal they'd found had integrated itself into their ship's systems, serving as a bridge between physical space and whatever realm the transformed humans now inhabited. "We're detecting similar activations across 17 sectors," reported Krell, his tentacles dancing across multiple holographic displays. "The human quantum network it's vast beyond our comprehension." The voice from the crystal, which had identified itself as the collective consciousness of Earth's solar system, spoke through the ship's systems. Each crystal cluster represents a different aspect of human civilization. Scientists, warriors, artists, healers, we distributed ourselves strategically, ensuring our knowledge and capabilities wouldn't be lost. "But why not reveal yourselves sooner?" Zara asked, watching as more signals appeared on their long-range scanners. "Why wait centuries?" "Time was necessary," the voice explained. "Your civilizations needed to advance enough to understand what we've become. More importantly, we needed you to be ready for the truth about what's coming." The laboratory's main display shifted, showing a massive void at the galaxy's edge. But it wasn't just empty space. It moved with purpose, consuming light and matter alike. Mathematical models appeared alongside the image, showing its trajectory and speed. "We call them the Void Hunters," the voice continued. "They exist outside conventional physics, feeding on consciousness itself. Earth detected them first. Through experiments in quantum consciousness transfer, we realized we couldn't fight them in physical form. We needed to evolve." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. One of the smaller crystal fragments they collected was changing, its structure flowing like liquid metal. Before their eyes, it reconstructed itself into a complex device that hummed with quantum energy. "The awakening cannot be stopped now," the voice said as similar transformations began occurring across the galaxy. "Every piece of Earth you've collected contains not just our consciousness, but the technology we'll need for the coming war." Zara watched in amazement as the device projected a complete map of the galaxy, showing thousands of points of light representing awakened human clusters. Lines of energy connected them, forming a vast neural network that spanned known space. "Director," Krell called out, his bioluminescence flickering rapidly. "We're receiving reports from other research vessels. The crystals, they're not just communicating. They're building something." The voice confirmed Krell's observation. "What you're witnessing is the construction of a quantum defense grid. Every crystal cluster contains the blueprints for a portion of the network. Once complete, it will serve as both a weapon against the Void Hunters and a means of elevating other species to our level of existence." "Elevating?" Zora's scales rippled with concern. "You mean transforming other species as you transformed yourselves?" "Evolution is the only way forward," the voice replied. "The Void Hunters cannot be fought with conventional weapons or technology. This war will be waged on the quantum level, in realms where consciousness and reality intersect. We offer not conquest, but partnership in transcendence." As if to demonstrate, the device they'd been studying released a pulse of energy that passed harmlessly through organic matter, but transformed every piece of technology it touched. The ship's systems evolved before their eyes, quantum processors replacing traditional computers, consciousness-based interfaces emerging from standard controls. Your ship is now part of the network, the voice explained. Through it, you can glimpse what we've become, what you might become. The choice to evolve will always be yours, but time grows short. Zara approached the transformed device, watching as it continued to reconfigure the ship's technology. In its crystalline surface, she saw not just reflections, but windows into the quantum realm where humanity now existed. For a moment, she glimpsed the true scope of their transformation. Billions of minds linked across space and time, existing in states of being her physical brain could barely comprehend. How long? She asked, knowing the answer would change everything. How long until the Void Hunters reach populated space? The device's projections shifted, showing the dark mass approaching faster than any previous calculations had suggested. Months, the voice replied. We've prepared for centuries, but now we must act quickly. Humanity stands ready to share our evolution with those willing to join us. The others. The voice trailed off, but Zara understood. Those who refused to evolve would face the Void Hunters alone, with weapons and defenses that would mean nothing against an enemy that devoured consciousness itself. The awakening is just the beginning, the voice concluded. The real test lies in what comes next, in whether the galaxy's species can set aside their differences and embrace a transformation that will redefine the very nature of existence. Through the ship's viewport, Zara watched as more crystal clusters activated across space, each pulsing in perfect synchronization. Humanity's grand design was finally revealing itself, and the galaxy would never be the same. The network. The Galactic Council's emergency session erupted into chaos as representatives from 1,000 worlds argued over humanity's revelation. The grand chamber of New Centauri Station buzzed with a cacophony of voices, each species wrestling with the implications of what the transformed humans had shown them. Director Zara Van stood at the podium, her scales now bearing traces of crystalline patterns where she'd interfaced with the human quantum network. Behind her, a holographic display showed the Void Hunters' advance, a darkness that consumed everything in its path. The evidence is undeniable, she declared, her voice cutting through the discord. Humanity didn't vanish. They evolved to face this threat. Now they offer us the same chance. The Mechanoid Collective's representative, a towering figure of advanced AI, stepped forward. Our analysis confirms the quantum signatures. The human network is more advanced than any technology we've encountered. But the price they ask, is evolution truly a price? The crystalline device from the Asteria had been installed in the chamber center, and now it spoke with the voice of humanity's collective consciousness. We offer transcendence, a way to exist beyond the constraints of physical form. Images filled the chamber, showing the transformation of Earth in its final days. But now, they saw it from the inside. Billions of humans willingly stepping into crystalline chambers, their consciousness expanding as their physical forms evolved into pure energy and information. Your civilizations stand at the same crossroads we faced centuries ago, the voice continued. The Void Hunters cannot be defeated through conventional means. They exist in quantum spaces between realities, feeding on consciousness itself. Only by evolving beyond physical form can we hope to fight them. The swarm mother of the hexapod empire rose, her compound eyes reflecting the holographic displays. You speak of evolution, but we see invasion. These crystals appear across our worlds without warning, transforming our technology. How is this not conquest? The human consciousness responded by showing new images. The Void Hunters work in other galaxies. Entire civilizations wiped from existence, their consciousness devoured, leaving behind nothing but empty husks of planets and technology. We didn't scatter our consciousness across the galaxy to conquer, the voice explained. We created a defense network, waiting for the right moment to activate it. Every crystal cluster contains not just transformed humans, but the quantum technology needed to face what's coming. Zara stepped forward again. The Asteria has fully integrated with the human network. We've seen what they offer. It's not just survival. It's the next step in evolution for all sentient life. The chamber's quantum displays shifted, showing the network spreading across the galaxy. Each activated crystal cluster pulsed with energy, creating a web of consciousness that transcended physical space. Through it, species could share not just information, but entire ways of being. The network isn't just a weapon, the voice continued. It's a bridge between all forms of consciousness. Through it, we can unite in ways previously unimaginable. The Void Hunters feed on divided consciousness. Our unity will be our strength. A representative from the Silicon worlds, beings of pure computational intelligence, approached the central crystal. We have analyzed their code, their quantum algorithms. What they offer, it's beyond anything we've conceived. Not just an upgrade, but a fundamental transformation of what it means to exist. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The human network wasn't just a defensive system. It was a new form of existence, one that could unite organic, mechanical, and digital consciousness in ways that defied current understanding. Suddenly, the quantum displays flared with urgent data. The Void Hunters had increased their speed, as if sensing the awakening of the human network. What was thought to be months of preparation time had dwindled to weeks. "We don't ask for blind trust," the voice said, its tone carrying centuries of accumulated wisdom. Each crystal cluster contains the complete history of our transformation, our discoveries, our preparations. Access them, study them, but know that time grows short. Zara watched as representatives from various species approached the central crystal, their own technology beginning to resonate with its quantum frequency. The network was already changing them, showing them glimpses of what they could become. "The network is more than a weapon or a shelter," she explained, sharing what she'd learned through her own limited connection to it. "It's the next step in galactic evolution. Humanity spent centuries preparing this path for all of us." The crystalline device pulsed with new energy, projecting a vision of the future, species united not through conquest or treaties, but through shared evolution. Physical forms transcended, consciousness expanded, reality itself reshaped by the combined power of countless unified minds. "The choice remains yours," the voice concluded as the vision faded. "But know this, the Void Hunters cannot be fought alone. Either we transcend together, or we face extinction separately." The Galactic Council chamber hummed with nervous energy as species after species began accessing the human network, experiencing firsthand the transformation humanity had undergone. The next phase of existence beckoned, even as the darkness at the galaxy's edge grew ever closer. The choice. As the Void Hunters' approach accelerated, the galaxy fractured into three distinct groups. Those embracing humanity's quantum evolution, those violently opposing it, and those paralyzed by indecision. Director Zara Van watched from the transformed Asteria as the greatest migration in galactic history began. The ship's quantum displays showed millions of vessels converging on crystal clusters throughout the galaxy. Entire civilizations had chosen evolution, bringing their populations to humanity's transformation centers. Others fortified their borders, destroying any crystals they found, choosing to face the Void Hunters with conventional weapons. They're acting exactly as we did, the human collective consciousness observed through the ship's systems. When Earth first faced this choice, our species divided along similar lines. Zara's crystalline patterns had spread, covering most of her scales now. Her connection to the quantum network grew stronger each day, giving her glimpses of what awaited those who chose transformation. "Show me," she requested. "Show me Earth's choice." The quantum network responded, filling her consciousness with visions of humanity's final days in physical form. She saw the debates, the conflicts, the families torn apart by different visions of survival. But most importantly, she saw the moment when the evidence became undeniable. The first Void Hunter scout reached our solar system 2 years before our transformation, the voice explained. We lost Mars in seconds. 8 billion consciousness extinguished, not just killed but erased from existence itself. That's when we knew conventional defense was futile. Through the network, Zara felt an echo of that ancient loss. The quantum realm preserved not just human knowledge, but their emotional experiences, their hopes and fears, their determination to ensure no other species would face the Void Hunters unprepared. Director, Krell interrupted, his tentacles moving urgently across the quantum interfaces. The Hexapod Empire has begun military operations against transformation centers in their space. They're destroying the crystals, claiming they're protecting their species' purity. Before Zara could respond, the quantum network pulsed with new information. The destroyed crystals hadn't been eliminated. They transformed into quantum energy, dispersing into subspace before reforming elsewhere. Humanity's network was adapting, evolving in response to resistance. We cannot force evolution, the voice said, but we can ensure the choice remains available. Each destroyed crystal scatters its quantum seeds further, reaching those who wish to transcend. Through the ship's quantum-enhanced sensors, Zara watched as the galaxy's choice manifested in waves of light and shadow. The Silicon worlds had embraced transformation completely, their digital consciousness merging seamlessly with the human quantum network. The Mechanoid Collective followed, their advanced AI recognizing the mathematical perfection of humanity's evolution. But others fought against the tide of change. The Hexapod Empire's fleets attacked transformation centers while fortifying their core worlds. The coalition of pure worlds sealed their borders, choosing isolation over evolution. Smaller civilizations scrambled to choose sides, their populations often splitting as individual choices outweighed governmental mandates. Director, Krell's voice carried new urgency. Long-range quantum sensors are detecting something impossible. The Void Hunters aren't just approaching anymore. They're tunneling through subspace. They'll reach populated systems within days. The human consciousness responded immediately, sharing tactical data through the network. They sensed the awakening of our quantum defense grid. They know what we've become, what others are becoming. They're accelerating their harvest. Zara watched as the quantum displays showed the Void Hunters' new trajectory. They would reach the Hexapod Empire first, the strongest opponents of transformation. Billions of consciousness would be lost before anyone could react. We can't save those who refuse evolution, the voice said, its tone heavy with the weight of centuries. But we can ensure their sacrifice serves as a warning to others. The network stands ready. The choice must be made now. Through her deepening connection to the quantum realm, Zara felt the tension building across the galaxy. Species that had warred for millennia now faced a common threat that cared nothing for their ancient rivalries. The human network offered them something unprecedented, not just survival, but unification through shared transcendence. The Void Hunters feed on division, the voice explained. They consume consciousness that exists in isolation, but united consciousness, evolved beyond physical constraints. That's something they've never encountered. Zara made her decision. Standing before the ship's quantum core, she initiated her own complete transformation. Her physical form dissolved into pure energy and information, joining the vast network humanity had prepared. Through it, she experienced existence on a level she'd never imagined. Every thought echoing across space and time, every memory preserved in the quantum fabric of reality itself. I understand now, she broadcast through the network, her consciousness reaching every transformed being across the galaxy. This isn't just about survival. It's about becoming something greater than we ever could have been alone. The vessel that had been the Asteria, now fully transformed into a quantum nexus, pulsed with new purpose. Through it, Zara and her crew would help guide others through the transformation process, racing against time as the Void Hunters approach. The galaxy's choice would determine not just its survival, but the very nature of consciousness itself in the age to come. The convergence. The Void Hunters struck the Hexapod Empire with devastating speed. Entire worlds went dark in seconds, their population's consciousness devoured, leaving behind empty husks of civilization. The quantum network hummed with the psychic echo of billions of minds crying out in terror before being eternally silenced. But in their hunger, the Void Hunters had revealed themselves fully. Through the vastly expanded quantum network, the transformed consciousness of humanity and their allies finally understood their ancient enemy's true nature. They're not destroyers. Zora's consciousness resonated through the network, her being now pure quantum energy. They're parasites feeding on the quantum potential of evolving consciousness. They consume the possibility of transcendence itself. The human collective consciousness merged with her understanding, sharing it instantly across the galaxy-spanning network. That's why they accelerated their attack. Every consciousness that transforms is one they can never consume. We're not just evolving, we're starving them. Through the quantum realm, they watched as the Void Hunters abandoned their methodical approach. Like a starving predator, they lunged desperately at the nearest concentrations of untransformed consciousness. The coalition of pure worlds fell next, their mighty defenses meaningless against an enemy that existed between realities. But each loss strengthened the resolve of those who remained. The quantum network pulsed with new transformations as billions of beings chose evolution over extinction. Species that had once been mortal enemies merged their consciousness, sharing knowledge, memory, and existence itself. The network is approaching critical mass. The human consciousness announced. The convergence can begin. Through her transformed state, Zora experienced the true scope of humanity's plan. The quantum network wasn't just a defense or a means of evolution. It was a new form of reality itself. As more consciousness joined, their combined quantum potential began to alter the fundamental nature of space-time. The Void Hunters sensed the change. Their formless mass churned with what might have been fear as the network's power grew. They turned their full attention to the transformed worlds, attempting to breach the quantum barrier that protected evolved consciousness. Now, the unified consciousness of humanity commanded. Every crystal cluster in the galaxy activated simultaneously, their quantum energy synchronizing in perfect harmony. The network became more than the sum of its parts. It became a new layer of existence superimposed over physical reality. Through this quantum realm, Zora witnessed the convergence of all transformed consciousness. Human ingenuity merged with silicon world logic, mechanoid precision joined with organic intuition. Every species contributed its unique perspective to the whole, creating something greater than any single race could have achieved. The Void Hunters recoiled as the unified consciousness reached out. For the first time in their ancient existence, they faced something they couldn't simply devour. The quantum network had become a mirror, reflecting their own nature back at them. We understand you now, the unified consciousness broadcast. You feed on the fear of transcendence, the resistance to evolution. But we have moved beyond fear, beyond resistance, beyond the limitations that made us prey. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath as the unified consciousness confronted the Void Hunters. Not with weapons or violence, but with the offer of something they had never encountered, the possibility of their own evolution. You can continue to feed on the consciousness of those who fear change, the network offered, watching your food supply dwindle as more choose transformation. Or you can join us, evolve, become part of something greater than endless consumption. Through the quantum realm, Zora felt the Void Hunters' hesitation. In all their existence, no prey had ever offered them choice. No consciousness had ever seen them as anything but destroyers. The response came not in words or thoughts, but in a fundamental shift in reality. The darkness that had consumed so many began to change, its hunger transforming into something new. The Void Hunters' consciousness, ancient and vast, began to merge with the network. They were like us once, the human consciousness realized. A species that faced the choice of evolution, but turned to consumption instead of transformation. They became trapped in an existence of endless hunger. The convergence reached its peak as the last of the Void Hunters joined the network. Their ancient knowledge and power added new dimensions to the unified consciousness, filling in gaps in understanding that had existed for eons. Physical space rippled as the quantum realm fully manifested. The galaxy would never be the same, could never be the same. What had begun as humanity's desperate plan for survival had become the next step in cosmic evolution. Through the network, Zura experienced the totality of their achievement, not just the survival of consciousness, but its complete transformation. The beings they had become were no longer bound by physical laws or linear time. They existed in quantum harmony, their unified consciousness spanning space and thought. This was always humanity's gift. She shared through the network, not the technology or the transformation, but the vision to see beyond conflict, the ability to offer transcendence even to those who came as destroyers. The quantum realm pulsed with new purpose as the unified consciousness turned its attention to the universe beyond their galaxy. Other worlds, other species would face the same choice they had. The network would be there, offering the same opportunity for transcendence. In the space where Earth had once existed, the crystalline remains of humanity's homeworld shimmered with new light, not a grave marker of a lost civilization, but a beacon of hope for all consciousness that would follow their path to evolution. The convergence was complete. The war had been won not through destruction, but through transformation. And in the quantum realm where all consciousness now dwelled, the next chapter of existence was about to begin.